I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
If you want to get things done quickly, you put the Halloween theme on.
Well, yeah, because Michael could be behind you.
Yeah, you do it. You know, you're out for a run. Halloween theme. You're out wrangling the kids. Halloween theme. Just always helps. Guys, welcome to another episode of Katie Afraidy. I'm your host, Katie Hettenbach. And again, we're starting out with give us a follow, a good old like, subscribe to us, Katie Afraidy, on all social media platforms. And without further ado, I'm so excited to have this person on. She's hilarious, and she runs a horror show at the Improv Hollywood called Horror Nerd, which I will be on soon. Samantha Hale. Hello. I don't know. Again, I've been doing weird voices all day today. I don't know what's going on, but we're feeling it.
Let's keep it weird.
Hale, yes. Or should I say Hale, yes?
Hale, yes.
You've never heard that one before, have
No,
you?
I get a lot in the what in the Sam Hale. I get that a lot.
Really? Okay. I feel like Hale, yes, would be like the easy one. But no. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to hear something crazy?
Yes.
My last name, I found out that it's actually a stage name.
Really?
Yeah. I found out when I was like in 5th grade. I did like a family book report, and I asked my dad about it. He said, that was an acting name. We just switched it. I said, what? Who am I? Is this even my name? So my great-grandfather came over from Ireland in, I guess, the 30s, and his name was Rufus McCann. And then he got here. He's like, nope, we're changing it to Alan Hale. So it's legal. It's my name now, but I technically have a stage name.
I mean, it's a pretty good stage name.
Kind of cool, right?
It like rolls off the tongue.
Hale.
You know,
Yeah.
it's easy. It's easy. Like
Yeah.
Hettenbach. I feel like I might have to change that. I don't want to.
I just have you on my phone as Katie Afraidy because
Fair
I
enough.
love it so
That's-
much. It's so perfect.
It is really good.
Yeah.
It's, again, I'm going to bring John into this. Because he came up with it.
Good job, John.
We were in the car coming back from, what was it? Was it Monster Palooza? No. It was Monster Palooza.
Midsummer Monster.
It was Monster Palooza, and we were both delusional. And we just like brainstorming names, and he said Katie Afraidy. And we're like, are you afraidy or not afraidy? Should we have a debatey? How about we do it on skaties?
And then 20 minutes later.
How about we do it in Flatey, where it's me interviewing people in a bounce house?
Can I sign up for the Bounce House episode?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
great.
Oh my God, it's gonna be great. But I like the shirts. Are you afraidy or not afraidy?
That's so cool.
It's so dumb. It's so good. I wanted to ask people at the end of the movie, were you afraidy or not afraidy? But that got quickly like docked. Don't do that.
Why?
Because it's really dumb. But
I
think
love
it's great.
dumb.
It's
Do you know how
dumb.
I know I like a joke, or when I'm impressed with someone, I'm like, you're an idiot. You are so stupid. That means I love you and you're brilliant.
Yeah, you're like, that was
Yeah.
dumb, but that was great.
Yeah.
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 Stupid is
Or that's so dumb. Why didn't I think of that first?
so good. So good. So good.
I like it.
And I would consider you a horror queen.
Thank you.
Horror queen.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. That's
Oh my
like
God.
that's a moment. Thank you.
I long before we met, I heard about Horror Nerd, and I heard about you as a person, and I was like, I can't wait to meet her one day. And here we are.
Thank you.
Of
Because
course.
that actually means a lot, genuinely, because that's what I've been saying this whole time is I want to be able to, like, my goal would be to be able to walk around Midsummer Scream or Monster Palooza and be like, oh, that's the horror comic. That's that horror girl. What's her name? They'll know my name eventually.
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I know her
I recognize
from that horror show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, because that's a goal.
Dude, yeah. Because it's also, I mean, the same thing with, like, stuttering comics. There's, I have a speech. I told you about that. Yeah. There's very few of us. So there was one time I was at the Improv, and someone was like, oh, do you know so-and-so in San Francisco? And I was like, how would I know them? They're like, oh, they also stutter. I'm like, oh, and are a comedian. I'm like, oh.
Really?
Great.
How do you
Awesome.
keep a straight face and not be like, think about what you're asking?
Yeah.
It's not like a club or a genetic thing. We're not really.
We actually are related. It's crazy.
Aw.
That's my mom.
Oh,
crazy. It's my mom. Like, your mom was like, wait.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess.
I guess I do now. I haven't, but
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. And then do you get the like, oh, I have a female comic friend. You must know her.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also find myself doing that with people I'm like meeting. I'm like, oh, let's see who we follow. I'm like, you follow this person. But like, yeah, we have a lot of mutuals because it's a small knit group. And I'm like, I always am like, oh, you know this person? That's cool. And
especially in horror, I think. Like, it's a very small, big world.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a huge, beautiful community, and there's so many people from all over the place involved, but yet you always like, oh, my friend is friends with that person, or oh, I've met that person here. Like, the people who are really, really, just forgive me for saying balls deep in horror.
No,
like
good.
We all just kind of at least know of each other. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are balls deep in horror.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
So besides the movie we're talking about, which I know is
can you
your
tell?
favorite.
I'm like, I'm not gonna go nuts. I'm just gonna do the earrings.
What it is?
And you got the hat, and we've got this.
It's I don't wear hats very often.
Halloween 3.
Halloween 3.
Totally
casual Halloween. But besides Halloween, what are some of your other favorite horror movies?
I mean, The Shining. Can't go wrong with The Shining. Watch that on a loop. Never get tired of it. Find something new and interesting every single time.
Yes.
So much that I actually stayed at the Stanley, which is the actual hotel where he wrote it. And that place is beautiful. It's like
haunted?
walking into 1909 or something. I wanted to stay in one of the haunted rooms, but they were really expensive and sold out. So I was like, ah. But then there was this big sign. So I did the ghost tour, which is really cool. They take you in all the the little kind of off-limit areas and tell you all the stories, and the staff talks to you, which is really cool. But then there was like a big sign that like the upper levels is saying, oh, for registered guests anyway. We're like, yeah, okay. Walked right around it and just went and just explored for a while. And it does kind of feel like you're maybe actually in The Shining. It's got that vibe, and it's just a beautiful old building.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like even with those ghost tours, regardless if you believe, I think it's just cool to hear like that dark history.
I love it.
It's
such
cool.
a nerd.
Yeah, it's
such a nerd.
Would you say you're a horror nerd?
I see what you did there. Yes, absolutely. Horror nerd, ghost nerd, paranormal nerd.
Yeah.
Like, I will specifically, if I'm on tour, if I go and do a show wherever, I'm like, cool, yeah, the show will be fine, but what haunted shit can we see?
Yes.
Like, the very first festival I ever did, it was Laughing Derby Festival, I think, in Louisville, Kentucky. And I found out that there's an abandoned tuberculosis hospital in the woods about a half hour away.
Dude, those are the best.
Oh,
the best.
5 floors of
Terrifying.
Waverly Hills.
Yes.
Yes.
I know Waverly.
yeah.
I'm a ghost.
Yeah,
I'm a ghost.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So we did like the midnight tour, and I mean, whatever you believe,
Yeah.
but I
This place is
saw
creepy.
some shadow figures I could not explain.
Yep.
And so they took us up to the 4th floor, which is the most notorious. And they were very like, okay, everyone for real, turn off your phones. Everyone for real, just be in the moment. Let's just hang out. And the tour guide was like, okay, I need a volunteer. I have my hand up first. And they're like, okay, do you see that little window at the very end of the hallway in the dark all the way over there? I said, yeah, go over there by yourself. I said, okay. So I go over, I'm just hanging out. And the tour guide's like, all right, let's just hang out for a little bit. And a little while later, I saw something completely walk past it and block it out. I'm like, what the hell? And then you think, are my eyes adjusting?
Yeah.
And then a couple minutes later, it went the other way and blocked the window again. So I don't know. Can't explain it.
It's spooky. It's spooky. Again, it's fun to just go see those places, because they are a part of history, but also like
the energy doesn't just go away.
It's something weird. I mean, so John and I, we were at the Comedy Store. He doesn't believe in ghosts.
Oh.
So I would be working downstairs in the podcast studio.
It's creepy down there.
Which is where the abortions
Yeah.
happen. And the back room.
Yeah.
It's got a weird vibe to it. But I also would talk to the ghosts. And I'd be like, what's up, guy? Because I wanted to be their friends.
Right.
And
like welcoming energy.
Yeah. And actually, I don't know if I told John this. He's not going to believe me. It's okay. And I don't know if I believe myself. I'm like, it could be a speck. It could be, who knows. But,
I believe you.
Thank you. But when we were taking all of our set pieces, like the last day, I took a photo, like a cheesy, like, bye, basement. Thanks for the memories photo. Yeah. And it looks like there's a head peeking out. And it's...
Send me that immediately.
It's terrifying. I saw it like months later, and my eyes teared up because I was like, there's no possible way that, like, it was super creepy. But, yeah.
Yeah, they may have been saying goodbye.
Yeah. And anytime I'm there now, I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Gus.
Yeah.
Hi, Gus. How's it going?
No, I do that too. I run a drag show, believe it or not, at Oxnard Levity.
Oh, fun.
And last year, Halloween, it was our Halloween show. And so 2 of my friends were there just taking pictures on stage with the microphone, just playing around.
Yeah.
Ironically dressed as Lily Munster, my friend Penny Dreadful. So she's up there dressed as Lily taking pictures. And then we looked at the video later and an orb came all the way around it and went all the way around the mic stand up to her face and then fluttered off. Like it was not dust. It was not a speck. It was an orb. And I mentioned it to the AGM, my friend Troy. And I said, Troy, oh my God, we caught an orb. Like, what the fuck? And he said, yeah, I know. So what do you mean, you know? He's like, yeah, one of the cooks OD'd in the kitchen. It's totally him. I'm like, well, you don't want to mention that? But so every time that I go into that venue, I say, hey, ghost. Every time I just say hi.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Now, orbs... yeah, it's orbs. It's got to be a convincing.
Orbs are debatable.
Orbs are like,
is it a speck of dust? Is it any? It was just. It was a very erratic movement, and it was just around my friend. I don't know.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. That's wild. Just like this movie.
Yes.
Halloween, your favorite,
all time
favorite. You actually might know more about this movie than I do.
I don't know. You're pretty.
But you know.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot, but I mean, this is your all-time favorite movie. Like, what about this movie is like?
You know, it was the first movie to truly just mesmerize me, and not just the characters and the plot and the story, but like the entire ambiance of the entire film. Like the wind in the trees to me as a character, the neighborhood. I mean, I love old Pasadena. Oh yeah, you know, and I didn't realize it was filmed there until a little bit later in life. I didn't know as a kid, but. I don't know. There's just the music is brilliant. The suspense is brilliant. It's psychological. It's not bloody and disgusting. Yeah. You know, which I'm all for that. I would say probably like body horror might not be my number one category of horror. I like the more like, okay, it's a serial killer, but also a supernatural element because is he pure evil? Is he not? Is he a man? Is he not? That's all fascinating to me. You know, and Jamie Lee, obviously.
Of course. I mean,
goddess.
Jamie Lee.
Stunning,
right? Beautiful.
Yeah,
it's such like the more when I first watched it, I was like scared, and then it's interesting watching it with like different generations, and you know, because I watched it also in college, and like watching it with a big, you know, in a lecture hall full of 300 kids, laughing, because it's so. I mean, it is. If you watch it for the first time, you realize, like people think it's funny now.
Yeah, I know.
Because
because of what the new generations have been exposed to in terms of the special effects and the darkness and the heavy duty gore and crazy themes that because they've had to get like more and more. They had to raise the stakes continuously because people have already seen, you know. But I don't know. I think that 70s though might be just my favorite decade of horror films. I mean, I love Amityville Horror, Jaws, of course, The Exorcist, of course. Yeah. Texas Chainsaw, of course. I could watch all of those on a loop and never get tired of it. They're so good.
They're so good, but it's just it's something about my generation. I don't know. They just don't appreciate it.
Kids these days,
they freaking suck. They don't get the horror. No, but it's like they're
desensitized.
And I also get it because you know there are moments that are like, I mean, it's terrifying that you know these things happen, but it's also like it's silly that he just kind of pops out and then leaves. You know, it's silly, but it's also like that's, you know, I think that's also part of the horror is that it's, you know, it's like kind of like it's comical, but like not, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a slow burn. Well, not like super slow, but slow enough. I mean, I remember seeing The Exorcist for the first time. I was 12. I begged my mom to let me get it from Blockbuster. Oh my God. Do you remember Blockbuster, Katie?
I do remember Blockbuster. Hollywood Video.
Hollywood Video, that's right. I used to buy them.
Be Kind Rewind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well done. So I remember her saying, okay, but you have to wait until I get home to watch it. I said, sure, Mom. Put it on immediately. And I was kind of bored with the first half hour because like it was just the medical and the build up and the what's going on, and I just wanted to get to the puke, you know. And so I fast forward it, and I wasn't scared. I think because I saw it when I was 8, and that just scarred me for 6 years. That fucked me up. Like Tim Curry's a genius. That messed me up. But so I didn't think it was scary when I first saw the Exorcist. But now as an adult, I watch it. I'm like, that movie's a masterpiece. It's brilliant. You know, the slow build is what makes it so incredible and makes it so realistic. You know, but as a kid, you're like, I just want instant gratification right now.
If it gets slow at any point, you're like, I'm gonna go play with a toy and leave the room.
Yeah, basically. But Halloween, I mean, I don't know exactly how old I was when I saw it, but that was the first one I just fell in love with the genre of horror because of that film. And I am shocked that no one has done this on this show.
We've done Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Fair. And I'm a huge zombie fan.
And we did Halloween. Which Halloween? Like when we first did the podcast, John, I don't know if you remember I can't remember if we did Halloween or Halloween Kills from 2017.
Oh, so not that
I think
long
we did
ago then.
2017.
Okay. And I like the new ones. I like Kills, and I'll say it, I like Ends too. I like it.
Ends is a different. It's like
different.
It's different. It's just Laurie. You just want Laurie to have a happy ending, and it's cheesy and it's Halloween Kills is brutal.
I know.
Though it's absolutely brutal.
I was on board with that.
But
I almost thought that like zombies Halloweens were more brutal than 2017.
because they're freaking like
they're just dark
and they're just
and heavy and bloody and
sexual assault. Left
it's
and right,
heavy.
and you're like, whoa, hey, why are we doing this?
Yeah,
we don't need this.
Yeah, it was his version.
Yeah.
You know, it was very different. But yeah, I just can't believe it hasn't been done before.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, I've been saving it, and I'm like, you said, and I was like, I'm gonna save it for Samantha.
I'm so happy you did. Like, if you would have said, "Oh, we've never done Resurrection," I'd be like, we can skip that. That's the one that I'm okay skipping.
You're like,
you know
fine.
what I mean? Like, we don't always talk about that.
We've covered all 3 human centipedes at this point. So it's like he did it. He did it. Sean did it.
Yeah. That one, oof. Human Centipede and like Tusk, those are harder for me.
Yeah, there's rough. It's rough. But the third one's I'll say this. You know what? Say what you will about the films. The third one was the most enjoyable. I didn't want to dry heave. So I did a little bit, but not as bad as the first and second one. It's also funnier.
Yeah,
it gets political.
Well, yeah. So we're actually just like getting like blurbs from different like amazing horror celebrities and icons to help us try to pitch this special that we just shot. And Dana Gould sent me like the most beautiful quote about comedy and horror being cousins. And it's true. It's so similar in a way. It's still like that excitement, that physical reaction in the body, right? And that's why I love horror comedy so much.
They're perfect. No, it's my favorite genre. That's when I was younger. I knew what I wanted. Like I knew I wanted to like write and like direct and be in horror movies. But I also love comedy. I was like horror comedies. So that's literally all I write. Is horror comedies.
Have you ever met anyone on the planet who's like, I didn't like Shaun of the Dead? No. Everybody loves Shaun of the Dead. Oh my God, do you not like Shaun of the Dead?
When I first watched it, I didn't like it. I have to watch it again. Me now versus me like in high school are very different.
Fair.
For horror wise, and I haven't.
Fair.
But I haven't seen it recently, so I have to watch it again.
Okay,
but,
that's fair. I've done that before, where I did not like a movie the first time, and then I gave it another shot. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't a fan of it initially, but I think I also had it like shoved down my throat by like some ex.
In your well, that's what it was.
Probably,
yeah. I mean, in your defense, in high school, your brain is not fully developed yet.
This is true. And as 26, my brain is now fully developed.
Yeah.
It's brand new, which is why I'm having all these big brain thoughts.
There you go.
I'm like, wow, this is how everybody feels? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. It's really sad inside.
We're all sad inside.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great? But you know what's not sad? The theme.
Oh my God.
The theme song is... So I have a Halloween playlist. It's called It's Spoopy Time.
Spoopy?
Spoopy. It's spoopy.
Oh.
Spoopy. And it's 7 hours long. I only played it on Halloween. I play it all month long. And obviously the Halloween theme is on it. But when I'll be like, out at Target, so I'll just be walking around and the Halloween theme plays. If you want to get things done quickly, you put the Halloween theme on.
Well, yeah, because Michael could be behind you.
Yeah, you do it. You're out for a run. Halloween theme. You're out wrangling the kids. Halloween theme. Just always Halloween theme.
It just honestly, it just puts me in a good mood.
It just puts me in a good mood. It's good. It's
just it's bouncy and creepy and pretty at the same time. And simple. You know, like if you look at the Jaws theme, it's not overly complicated, but it gets the job done.
And that's the film is, again, not overly complicated.
Tubular Bells, not overly complicated, but
Simple.
it puts you in a mood.
Effective, elegant, perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Now I'm just thinking of Totally. She always says totally.
Oh yeah, the girl in them.
Yeah. PJ Souls. Totally.
See, you know,
Yeah.
I'm
Linda.
terrible with character names.
Yeah.
In movies, I'll be like, oh, the girl with the big tits, and then I turn it into like a
the cheerleader,
the blonde slut. You know what I'm saying? And
but
then
you
it's
realize
like,
saying the girl with the big tits in a horror film is like saying it's the house with the tree.
yes, it's the house. It's the one comic with the long fingers. You know, that guy, the guy with the vagina joke. You know, the guy with the vagina joke. Also, Laurie's friends are terrible.
Yeah. Kind of forcing Ben Tramer on her and kind of forcing like a joint in her mouth when clearly she doesn't smoke.
Clearly she's a virgin.
I know, because right. But I love how Annie like shoves the joint in her mouth, and then when she coughs, she's like, "What is wrong with you? Why are you coughing?" Because you just shoved a joint in her mouth.
Like, what did you think was going to happen?
What did you think was going to happen? That's what happened.
Yeah. If you don't smoke, you're going to cough. You're gonna spit it out. No.
Right.
Not nice friends. He needs better friends. And
but I mean, how many great friends do you see in horror films? Like of the final girl, the friends are usually like kind of have a little bit of sass or a little bit of attitude because you have to feel okay when they get killed because they're gonna get killed.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about like what other like horror movies. Like the first one I went to obviously was Scream.
They'll have some sass.
And Tatum.
You know, Tatum has some sass.
Yeah,
that was the first horror film I saw in the theater.
Ooh.
And I was obsessed. Obsessed. Like I think my dad took me like 5 or 6 times. Yeah, I have a joke about how like I became a woman that day because sometimes the killer underneath the mask is like hideous and disgusting, and sometimes it's Skeet Ulrich, and and it's like
Matthew Lillard
or Matthew, who's also equally hot.
Oh my God!
Do you know what I loved him in 13 Ghosts?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I love him.
Yeah.
Period.
He seems like he'd be a cool dude.
You know what is? I realize that in life I'm looking for a life partner that's like Matthew Lillard. I would never.
Is he married?
He's married. I would never break him and his wife up. They're adorable and they deserve each other. They're so cute. But I'm looking for somebody who's like Matthew Lillard.
Can you put that on your dating profile?
No, because someone's gonna be like, I kind of look like Matthew Lillard.
I sound like Scooby Doo.
Like Scooby-Doo movies, I'm like, he's not hot in those. He's just iconic. But like everything else is just, I'm like, you're adorable. You deserve the world.
Yeah.
You deserve the world.
Yeah.
Same with the dog in the movie, in Halloween.
Oh,
that dog deserved the world.
The German Shepherd.
The German Shepherd.
I will say that's my one thing, Michael Myers, that I'm not happy. Michael, I am not happy with you. That is an animal. Animals are beautiful. It's funny because we can watch people get killed and massacred all day, but you touch an animal. Mm-hmm. Like I won't watch Dances with Wolves. Won't do it. There's a wolf and a horse. Nope. Not doing it. Oh. Sorry, spoiler alert. That's another movie.
They died.
It's fine.
It's okay.
They died.
I think it's been out for a minute.
Yeah.
It's okay. So
yeah.
I'll survive.
I'm still mad about that. But I will say this oh God, I'm bad with numbers. 5? Is it 5? Maybe 5 or 6. I feel like a terrible person for not knowing this. But there's a Doberman in another one of the Halloweens, and Doberman's like my breed. I actually just rescued a Doberman because my other Doberman, long story, I'm a Doberman person, they're my favorite. So there's a Dobie in there, and I'm like, fucking Michael, don't do it. I will go Team Jason so fast. I will go Team Freddy so fast if you hurt this Doberman. And the Doberman was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, there was this shot where you're like,
heard you.
oh my God, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. And then like the next shot is the dog barking, like just minding its business.
It's chilling.
Yeah, it was like in, what was it? Was it in 2017? Was it Was it Kills that there was a baby? And you're like, oh my God, Michael Myers is gonna totally kill this baby. But then he doesn't. He goes in.
One of them.
Yeah. He doesn't kill the baby.
All 3 of those movies blended together.
And you're like, okay, all right, that's good.
He has a soul.
Or maybe he's like, this thing's too loud. Fuck it, I'm leaving.
Icky. I don't want that. Poop. Ugh. I just smell. Ugh, God, gross.
I mean, I understand.
Yeah. Icky. No, thank you. No, icky. No touch. No touch. But it also like to kill that dog just shows you that obviously he's just ripping these teenagers apart,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
that he is just
Like a killing
a
machine
monster. He does not
that-
care
Right.
if you're in his way
Yeah.
to getting what he wants.
Right.
He's gonna, kill you. Which also,
Right.
it's a man with a goal, a driven man,
Mm-hmm. A devoted man, a committed man.
ambition.
He knows what he wants. And it's one woman that he wants. It is also interesting, like, not knowing right away the backstory of, like, that's his sister.
Yeah.
Not knowing that makes it really interesting.
Yeah,
you know.
I didn't realize that was his sister until I watched the Halloween Rob Zombie,
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, my mind is blown right now.
Well, they added so much.
they added a
like,
lot.
what is it, pre-story? What's
Yeah.
the word I'm looking for?
Prequel,
A lot of exposition.
Exposition, yeah.
A lot of stuff that in his version was really interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, freaking wild. So, little side note story, the dog death, when we were watching that in college, I got a text from my mom at the same time that the dog was being stabbed, and it said, "Hey, call Dad or I." And after we finished the movie, I got a call that my dog had just died
No.
as the dog was dying. Yeah. So during Halloween, I got a
That's
call that my dog died.
bizarre.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I laughed. I was like, this is...
The
The fact that I got the text at the same time, I was like, my dog died. Yeah, my dog's dead.
Oh my God. Was your dog old?
Yeah, 16 and a half.
Oh, wow.
Great
okay.
life, great
so great
life.
life.
But,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
sad.
But you knew it was probably
know.
coming.
Yeah, it's just,
It doesn't make it any easier.
it's not
though.
easy. No, I cried
Yeah.
in the lecture hall. I waited for everyone to leave, and I did like the slow slide down the wall, crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. No,
There's
it's
a memory to it.
It's honestly, it was really funny. If that's what a way to
What are the
find out
odds?
that like
Right.
your dog is dead. And
So Michael was just trying to prepare you for that.
Honestly,
he was
he's
just trying to ease you
preparing you
into
for
it.
life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Don't babysit.
don't babysit.
Kids are a pain in the
period.
ass.
So would you consider Lori a good babysitter, or is she a bad babysitter?
Why would she be bad?
I don't know.
She was the one, like,
I mean, she didn't.
she took little Lindsay Wallace so that her friend could go have sex. I mean, I think she's pretty solid.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you would hire her.
I would totally hire
Okay,
her.
okay.
She kept them alive.
That's very true.
She sure did.
She did.
I mean, she told them the boogeyman wasn't real, which is kind of a lie, but then she figured it out.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would say she's a good babysitter.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had some cool babysitters growing up, but like, I don't know,
Yeah.
anything to do with kids, I'm like, So if I see a babysitter in a movie and I'm like,
Yeah, it's not going to end well for you.
You're doing God's work, thank you.
Yeah.
But you're gonna die.
Yeah, basically. I
Yeah.
remember not being nice to my babysitters
Oh God.
when I
why?
was a kid. Yeah, because you didn't, I mean, like, my parents had divorced and I was
Okay.
just, like, upset about that. And, when I felt like they were both leaving me. So I wasn't going to be nice to whoever was being paid to.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Tommy and Lindsay were nicer to Lori than I would have been to my babysitter.
That's very true.
My babysitter would have probably, like, Michael Myers would have shown up and she probably would have been like, she's in there. Go for
ahead.
it.
Please get her
She's
before
a pain
me.
in the ass. Take her.
Fucking kill the kid.
Kill the kid. Let me
God.
out. I have things to live for.
But then he'd probably go after the babysitter.
He would.
'cause,
I know, but he would. He's got to do what he's got to do. He's got a reputation to uphold.
got those, those driven he's just an ambitious guy. What a dumb question that was in. Oh,
I
the
like dumb questions.
the car thing also with the foggy car.
Yeah.
Where who gets in the car? What are the people's names?
That was Annie in the
Annie.
car, right?
When she gets in the car and has to
And-
wipe.
uh-huh.
Anytime my car is foggy, I think about
Think
that.
of that. Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, there's someone in the car. They're gonna kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like when she's getting killed and she's just laying on the horn and
Yeah.
the neighbors are probably like, rude.
Such a slow death. That one is like really
Yeah.
just drawn out. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
dang, she's not dying.
She's not. Yeah, which, I mean, I don't want to say that's realistic,
I
but
mean,
yeah.
that's very realistic,
Not that we're enjoying actual women getting hurt, but for
Yeah.
the movie.
The movie, yeah.
Yeah, because when someone dies in a horror movie, they're like,
Yeah.
no.
It's not, yeah, it's slow.
No,
It's slow.
You just took me out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read somewhere.
Suffer!
Yeah. I want you to suffer. Die slowly.
I paid $12.99 for this.
Damn it.
Damn it.
And you're going to die. You're going to die every
But
minute.
then you get the ones who like died too slow, and you're like, okay, we get it.
You're
You
like,
could have been dead
you're
about 10 minutes ago.
Something that I learned that does not have anything to do with this, though, is that in movies when they use chloroform, I always think it like takes like seconds. It actually takes 5 minutes.
It does?
It takes 5 minutes.
Not in the movies.
Not in the movies. It takes seconds. Apparently, it takes 5 minutes to knock someone out with chloroform.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I read that in a book, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, jeez.
I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
I was
guess
like,
that would be a long scene, just someone.
Yeah, but also like holding them, and it's like that's.
Yeah.
I'm good for honestly more power to them at that point.
They really
to be
wanted
like,
that.
dang,
They
that's
really
like
earned
if
that.
you're working for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
saying do it, but damn.
But damn.
But damn, that's kind of impressive. Gotta say that.
Right?
Where am
I will
now?
say, I do want to also say, when you asked one of my other favorite movies, I'm a huge Conjuring universe fan. I know those are like kind of the newer, the
Yeah.
Conjuring universe. I love Insidious. But I have to say Psycho, though. I mean,
Psycho's
come
so-
on. I mean, speaking of Jamie Lee, obviously.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorite moments in the Halloween series, and it was in H2O, which I fucking love H2O. I don't care.
I've seen H2O.
Oh my goodness!
I've seen.
Wait, what is your franchise?
Scream.
Oh, fair. Okay,
Yeah.
fair. That makes sense because I'm a little bit older, just a
That's
little
okay.
bit.
Well, I also like
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of horror movies,
Yeah.
but I also haven't seen a lot of horror movies.
Well, there's just so many.
There's so many. Everyone, do you have this problem where people come up to you and they're like, "Oh, you've seen every horror movie, all of them."
Yeah, people do assume that,
And
but
I'm
but I also do know people who legit have seen
I'm like,
every.
well, that's impossible because there's stuff going back.
Well,
because I made a list.
Yeah,
once,
they've
and
seen
I was
all
like,
the huge major ones.
Yeah, I was like, I made a list where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch every horror film ever made.
Oh,
and
you're
I
gonna
was
be there
like,
a while.
oh, there's like snuff films that are considered horror films. There's like weird, like the first like actual horror film is considered to be some woman being beheaded.
Oh,
and like that's considered like that was put
like
in
an
theaters.
actual.
Yeah, that was put in theaters. Yeah, so like stuff like that. And I was like, I'm gonna watch all of these because I'm gonna, I'm gonna be the horror master. And I was like, I was writing them by hand in a notebook,
Wow.
and I got to 5 pages, and I was like, this is never gonna happen.
Oh no, I
This
don't
is
think
not-
I could watch that movie.
Yeah, no.
No.
But I was like, I'm gonna add it to the list, to like,
Yeah.
but like, but oh man, yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
though.
yeah,
Yeah, there's just so many, and especially now because there's so many independent films and people just making shit in their yard, which is amazing too.
Yeah.
People like fan films.
Oh my
You know,
God,
like fan films on YouTube.
Have you ever seen the Academy Award winning film Taint Light?
No.
It's a Twilight.
Taint Light.
It's on Tubi.
That sounds like a porn Twilight.
It's the whole time we were thinking. When I watched it with my friend, we were thinking that it was a porn, and the whole time it sounded like it was gonna be a porn.
Taint is in the title.
Yeah, it's not a porn. It's just a really it's not good. But it's good enough that I tell everyone about it because it was
Fantastic.
so. Honestly, it has some really funny moments.
Yeah.
For a movie called Taint Light, it's pretty good.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll have to watch it. Wait, is it actually a horror film?
No,
No.
it's a Twilight parody.
Oh, it really is a Twilight parody.
So,
okay.
I mean, in theory,
Yeah.
is that horror?
Horrifying, personally.
Horrifying?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of porn, segue, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
segue,
did you
love it.
see X? X was really good.
It's okay.
I liked X.
The trailer versus the movie. And that's why I don't watch the trailers anymore. I try not to know anything and just
Yeah.
go in blind.
Yeah.
But the trailer's so different from the movie, and I expected something else.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit
Going into
let down.
any movie with high expectations is just a bad idea.
yeah.
Because then anything's going to be a disappointment.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Going into a movie with like, I have zero expectations is probably going to be really bad. And then you're like, oh, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be. That's probably
The way to go.
the way to go.
Way to do it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And now going back to Halloween. Dr. Loomis, what are your opinions about him?
Who doesn't love Dr. Loomis?
Okay.
I mean, he's trying so hard.
He's trying very
and
hard.
he's warning everybody.
But he's got some personal space issues.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know,
buddy.
but
He's
good old
trying.
Donald Pleasance.
He's trying.
Yeah, he's trying, and He really was trying to explain to people what Michael is, and just no one believed him. You know, it probably
he's a crazy loon. He's crazy.
He's crazy,
just, yeah.
and like, well, why'd you let him out? Well, he didn't like open the door and say, "Bye, Michael." That wasn't exactly how it happened. Yeah, he got out. Like,
but then he took his car.
Yeah.
Also, how does Michael know how to drive?
Well, I think that's why they probably wrote a line into the movie of like, well, how he doesn't know how to drive, and Dr. Loomis is like, well, he was doing fine last night. I don't know. I mean, I guess you just figure big pedal go.
Big pedal go. Fair enough.
I don't know.
When there's I love watching like little moments on like TikTok where they like zoom in on like old horror movies to be like, oh, this is like where they flubbed or whatever. When Michael's driving and he looks both ways and then goes like, how does he know to look both ways? So good though.
Evil just knows things.
He's evil knows and is still worried about safety.
I know.
He's got to look both ways.
I know. I mean, and probably one of the most iconic scenes is like, hey, jerk, speed kills. And then he slams on the brakes and you're like, oh, did you just offend Michael Myers by saying you're driving too fast? Is that what just happened?
Got him. Even he might be evil, but evil is sensitive.
Yeah.
You know, he's a sensitive
He's a sensitive guy.
He's a sensitive little guy.
Yeah.
And he's just a little big guy who won't die.
Sensitive big guy in a Shatner mask.
Big guy in a which is so funny. It's just
I know.
a Shatner mask.
I know.
Oh my God. And
I feel like sometimes the movies with just like no budget wind up being the best.
Yeah. And
you know what they were able to do on a shoestring budget.
Yeah, they used, what was it, a single bag of leaves.
Yeah.
To like make it seem like it was the Midwest in Pasadena.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And also like,
and it worked.
It worked so well. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
No one, I don't think anyone noticed unless you like actually are looking.
I don't think so. And I didn't really realize until, you know, being an adult, like, wait a minute, you can go to all of these houses. They're all still there. And really, okay, so here's a fun fact. Here's basically how Horror Nerd was created. In the pandemic, we were all bored. We had nothing to do, right? So I thought, okay, well, we have to be isolated by ourselves. If I just go drive around all over LA and go to these like filming locations and make funny videos in front of them, that's something to do. And it's like, I'm not bothering anyone. I'm outside. So that's what I started doing. And I would just like roast the killer in front of the actual house. Yeah. And, you know, in Pasadena, you've got the Child's Play 2 house. You've got Laurie Strode's house, Michael Myers' house. And then in West Hollywood, you have the Nightmare on Elm Street house literally across the street from the Tommy Doyle house. Yeah. Which is like, you go past the Zanku Chicken and there it is. Yeah. What? So I would just make all these funny videos and then post them, and people loved it so much that I originally wanted to like pitch it as like a travel series kind of a thing. And I got kind of close with it, had a bunch of interest, and a lot of people were like, it's so different and unique and funny and outside of the box. We don't know what to do with it. I'm like, oh, great.
Like, fair.
And then one day my friend, when the Improv opened again and started like doing lab shows again, my friend was like, hey, you know, why don't you apply? My friend Sarah Taylor, who's amazing, she said, you know, use my name and pitch this idea to them. And I did. And sure enough, they gave me a shot. And I'm so grateful because it's been great. And I was like, hey, here's this weird little horror thing I want to do. Not in October. Are you down?
Yeah,
they're
year round. Year round, all time.
Year round.
Because horror...
It never dies.
Never dies, and Halloween is year round at our
Halloween
house.
is just the only Halloween or the other holiday I care about.
It's the only thing that matters.
It's the only thing that matters. I just celebrate Halloween on Christmas. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, I wear a costume. I eat candy. I watch Halloween holiday movies. You know,
Gremlins,
Jack Frost,
Black Christmas. Oh my God, I love Jack Frost so much.
Repeat.
My mom and I saw that when it first came out. We're like, this is the worst movie we've ever seen. Can we watch it again? Like, it was so bad.
It's so campy. It's so good.
A serial killer snowman who like runs over a cop, and then didn't he stab a woman with his carrot nose?
Yes, he did. Oh yeah, he did.
So dumb.
It's so. Or one of my favorites is the Midwest striptease, where they're like wearing their big parkas and they take them off. They're wearing another sweatshirt. Under that, the long johns. Under that, another layer. Wait, I have 12 more layers on because it's cold.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh God. So good.
Halloween,
but I think Halloween was like the movie that I discovered completely on my own. I don't remember my parents being like, oh, you got to watch this movie. I think maybe I just saw the title and was like, I've heard of this Michael Myers guy. I'll watch this. And was just hooked.
So did you see it in theaters or where did you see it?
I don't even remember is the thing. I'm sure I saw it not in theaters because I don't know why it would have been in theaters by the time that I came around. I don't know how I discover it. It's so weird. But I will say it really was cool for my birthday one year, because my birthday is October 23rd, so it's like close enough.
Yeah.
We saw Halloween in the cemetery at Hollywood Forever.
That's so fun.
That was pretty amazing.
I would
That was
cry.
really amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh my
It
God.
was super great.
That's a fantastic.
Yeah.
One more kill I want to talk to you about is the infamous
The sister at the beginning?
no, the stab in the boyfriend.
Oh, the
where
one
the
in the
knife,
ghost
the
when
knife.
he's wearing the sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The knife.
When he puts on the glasses after that over the
That's
sheet.
again silly.
Oh,
That's
come
he's
on.
got a sense of humor.
It's so good. And then Linda's like, "See anything you like?"
Boobs out, and you're
Just
like,
boobs out. And she's like, "Why aren't my boobs working?"
like, what do you mean?
I think that might have been, I don't know if it was it the first time he did it in the movie where he did the head tilt?
Yes,
Like,
because
just
it was
kind
the
of
first
the
time,
looking
like
at
so he stabs the
The boyfriend and like
and
on the wall. He's
on the
like
wall, and like
raised
it
up on the
sticks
wall.
because again that
He's
knife,
pure evil. He can do it.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
but it's like that evil curiosity
That's what it was.
to
exactly.
be like oh, someone just died.
like a cat looking at his
interesting.
mouse that he just massacred.
You're
Like, ooh,
huh,
ooh,
that's what that looks
that's
like
what
when
that
someone.
loo- yeah, that's what it feels like to see life draining out. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of that vibe, and
Yeah.
that made him scarier in
Yeah.
that moment
because
for sure.
And all like if you watch like Scream, all of them do the head tilt, and I'm like,
Yeah,
all of them do
yeah,
that.
and I know it wasn't technically the first horror film to have the killer's point of view.
Yeah.
Was it Peep Show? I want to say.
I think so, yeah.
But that was the first time that like real mainstream
Or no,
audiences.
sorry. This is a question in Scream, Peeping Tom.
Peeping Tom. That's
because
what
it's
it
a
is.
question in
That's what it
Scream.
is. Oh,
it's
that's funny.
Wow, good.
Yeah.
Again, I can't remember. Sometimes when someone will say their name, I'll be like, "Can you tell me it again?" I literally forgot it, or they tell me like
I'm
their
so
podcast.
bad with names.
But I can remember that. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now I just want to ask you, because you've had Jamie on the podcast, right?
Jamie,
Yeah. Did you die? Were you just so excited?
It's so I know he's a comic. I know he's a friend, and he's a awesome human. But it's like to have somebody.
He's still Randy. Yeah.
He's still
It's a
to
big
have someone
deal.
from your favorite horror movie.
Yeah.
Or favorite movie in general, like
Yeah.
to talk to them just about that movie.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's
So wild.
No
I
doubt.
felt that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I was genuinely very, very, very excited. That was a goal of mine to get him on Horror Nerd for sure.
You
But
gotta-
I didn't
I
know
was
him
there.
personally. Yeah,
was
that
there
was
for
actually the
that.
second time we've
The
had
second
him, which
time,
is
okay,
really cool.
okay.
But so the first time, another comic who was at the Improv with me, Jay Washington, who's awesome. I was talking to him about it. He's like, "Well, Jamie's really nice. Just
Oh my God,
like,
he's so
come on,
nice.
let's just go talk to him."
He's
I'm
so
like,
nice.
"Okay." So I just kind of went up and started talking to him, and he's like, "Wait, you run Horror Nerd, dude? Like 4 people have already told me I need to do this show. I would love to do it." And I thought that was so. He's like, "Here's my number." I'm like, "That's amazing."
Yeah.
And he's been so sweet and so supportive, and I'm super grateful. That's a big deal for me
Oh my
to
God,
have. I grew up on that movie as well.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal.
Yeah, and
you know.
Jamie's just such a nice guy, and he
Yeah.
he knows. Like he made fun of me because he was like, "Oh, you sound like one of those con people," and I'm like,
Yeah.
Don't ever say I remind you.
I am so much more.
I'm so much more than that.
than a con.
Than a horror
Yeah.
convention. But
Yeah.
no, but like I get it. It's like this
Yeah.
is his like he sees how big you know,
Yeah.
of an impact this movie.
I
has
think
made.
it still surprises him even
Yeah.
that people are still this in love with Scream and
Oh my
that
God,
the
yeah.
audience continues to build.
It's one of those movies that
Yeah.
like spans.
Well, because never have you had a movie in the movie talk about the rules of a movie. It was so outside of the
Meta.
box. It was so innovative.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one, wait a minute. There are these rules in horror, but no one's laid them out that way. And to have that character, to have Randy written that way, to really like explain it exactly whatever, you're like, oh shit, that's all so accurate.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, we knew that like, okay, sex is kind of bad. If you're sexual, then
Yeah.
you're probably gonna get killed. If you do bad things, okay, yeah, we kind of already knew that. But
Yeah.
like the rules of never say I'll be right back. What?
Anytime someone says I'll be right back, I'm like,
don't say it. No, you won't.
I'm like, you know you want.
No, you won't.
No, you're gonna
Yeah.
die. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I even will say that to myself. I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. Damn it.
Damn it.
shit.
I know, but it's exciting when
It
you get to
is.
meet your heroes.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, trying to get more Scream people on the podcast.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's in Vegas, I will never stop talking about this. There's a Scream parody musical.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Scream. Go see it.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just
That sounds fun.
90s hits,
And now there's a Saw one, right? Aren't
Yes,
they
there's a
doing a
Saw
Saw
one.
the musical? Yeah.
which is touring.
Beetlejuice
apparently.
the musical was amazing. That's another film. I know that's like it's horror. It's still horror.
Yeah,
It's kind of like comedy horror.
Yeah. I
but
think it's
like
leaning more
mainstream,
comedy.
you know?
Yeah.
But that was another movie. Obsessed with that. And then the other movie that I watched literally on a loop, I knew every single word, was The Witches with
Okay.
Angelica Houston. Every single word. I was obsessed with The Grand High Witch.
I've
That was
never
like
seen
it
The
for me. Oh my
Witches.
god! And don't. I'm sorry, Anne Hathaway. Do not watch her version. No. Watch Angelica Houston. That woman is an icon.
Yeah.
I mean, Morticia Adams
She's
as
terrifying
well.
and great,
of
and
course.
like a good way.
Yeah.
Like the best.
The best.
The best.
I know.
So, before we wrap up,
Oh, I want to talk about Halloween for another
I
2
know,
hours.
I know, but I have some Halloween trivia.
Uh-oh. Oh gosh, I feel like this is.
I'm so sorry. Some of them might be hard, and because
no, don't do this to me.
So I feel bad, and I was like, well, we're just gonna, it's okay. It's okay. We're all gonna learn something.
Okay.
If you don't, and it'll make you better for the next time.
Can I plead the fifth if I need to?
You can
Okay.
phone a friend. Okay. This is easy. In what town?
Haddonfield.
Okay. Look at that. Okay, Haddonfield. Boom. Look at that.
It's like, come on.
You're like, okay. Well, that was just like
I'm like getting
so you felt
nervous.
good.
I'm like getting
Okay.
flustered. Okay.
What's the name of the dog?
The dead. Hi, I'm dead. Wait. Oh my God, I know this. And he's like, I'm the one person this dog doesn't like. Is it like Baxter? No. Give me a clue.
It's a day of the week.
It's a day of the week? Is it? What is it?
Sunday.
His name is Sunday?
His name is Sunday.
Why don't I remember that? Oh,
Sunday.
it's probably because I blocked it out because I love
it's
dogs
so traumatic.
much.
I also had to look that one up. I'm like, I wouldn't have known.
Sunday.
Sunday.
Well, now I'm thinking of the U2 song Sunday, Bloody Sunday. Sorry, dog.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Sunday.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Sunday. What's the name of the kid Lori
Tommy.
babysits? Okay. What were the movies Lindsay and Tommy were watching?
Oh shoot! I was just watching this. Oh my God! Give me a hint. Is it Alien something? Not Aliens, but like something.
One's a John Carpenter movie. And the other one, I honestly have never seen this one, and I had no idea, but it is a space movie.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's a space movie.
Yeah, but it's two. Yeah, so.
I can't remember.
Was
it The Thing? Yeah, The Thing.
And then
What's the space?
Lindsay was watching Forbidden Planet.
Forbidden Planet. I knew it was something with a planet. God,
I've never seen Forbidden Planet, so I was like, I don't even know that one.
I am a failure. Okay.
This is another weird one that you might get. If you get, I will be impressed. Okay. What does Laurie's father do for a living?
I've been to the Laurie Strode house too. So Annie's dad is the sheriff. What does he do? He's a salesman somehow.
A realtor.
Yeah, I knew he was
Yeah.
selling something. So he said, "Oh, because it's Strode Realty."
Mm-hmm.
I knew that. No, I knew that. Can we do this?
I was like, this is kind of mean. This
Yeah,
is like
no, I
specific-
knew it was Strode Realty because I remember like seeing something at a convention the other day, like, "Oh, that's cool. I should buy that."
Yeah.
And then I didn't. But
Those are kind of mean for me. I apologize, but I
No,
also wanted to
it's
just
okay. I deserve it.
genuinely. But also, it's so interesting that there's so much, like, even again, that this shows you how much there is about even your favorite movies that there's
see
still
something new.
you won't know the whole
Yeah.
thing, and I think that's so interesting.
2 ways I'm going to redeem myself right
Okay.
now, though. First of all, I have an actual piece of the Tommy Doyle house.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh yeah, I did. So they just did the Halloween 40th convention in Pasadena, of course. And I went on a bus tour with my friend Anthony, who's amazing. We're actually going to be starting a podcast, which is very exciting. He knows every detail ever. He's got some sort of a magic brain. But so we go on this tour, and the bus took us to all the different locations, like all of them in Southern California.
That's so cool.
And on the bus with us was Dick Warlock, who plays Michael Myers in Halloween 2. So we got to literally recreate that long walking shot through the town in Halloween 2. We got to do it with him.
That's so cool.
Which was amazing. And at one point we were just sitting at a Starbucks just shooting the shit with this guy. He's so cool. He's so nice. So went to all those different ones. And then when we got to the Tommy Doyle house, they were gutting it. Like they were kind of like renovating it or doing something to it. And we look over. Oh, and do you know Ice Nine Kills? Because Spencer was on the bus with us. And Spencer's, that kid, I didn't just say kid, he's a grown man, but he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I think he's going to be the next like Rob Zombie type. He's so smart and he's so, I don't know if you've seen his videos or heard his.
I have not, but.
They're all like, he has songs dedicated to different horror films.
Cool.
And they're good. And I love metal. So they're good.
Okay.
Anyway, so we were all on this bus. And there's a huge dumpster outside with all these wood pieces. And we're like, I look at Anthony, and are we about to dumpster dive? Hell yeah. So we dive into this dumpster. We start taking out these beautiful pieces of the actual house. I wanted to get a piece with like the paint on it so that it shows the right color. So I have it at home, my little Michael Myers doll and my little Michael Myers poster. I have my little Michael shrine. So points for me for that. But then the craziest thing happened a little while ago. I went into a Wells Fargo and I'm like, I need to open an account. They're like, oh, okay, well, we'll get Mickey over here. He can help you. I sit down with this guy. He's really funny right off the bat. I'm like, I love this guy. He's so sarcastic and evil, just like I am. I love him. Somehow horror gets brought up. And he's like, well, what's your franchise? I said, dumb question. Halloween, obviously. And he says, oh, well, I was in that movie. I said, excuse me? Wells Fargo banker who I just met? What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, my dad produced it. I'm like, I'm sorry. Who are you? He's like, I'm Mickey Ublons. My dad is Erwin Ublons. He produced it, and I'm one of the little boys in the beginning. Do you remember when the boys on the schoolyard they're bullying Tommy? They're like, Boogeyman's going to get you, and they knock it out of his hand. He was one of those boys.
Oh, my God.
So now he's my friend and my banker.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he was at the convention, which was fun.
That's so random,
yeah,
too.
So that's what I mean by it's a big world, small world.
Yeah.
Literally up the street from my house. Fucking his dad produced it. So he got me all these comic books and stuff. It's so cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So, I mean, I don't feel like I don't even need to ask what you're giving it out of 10 because I think I know.
14 million? No, 10. 10.
Yeah, 10.
10 out of 10. No notes.
No notes.
No notes.
No notes.
I love that movie. Yeah. Every single time. There are a handful of movies that I can watch on a loop and just not get tired of it.
Yeah.
Like, and you see something new every time. Yeah. I would say that and The Shining are the ones that I probably watch the most. Beetlejuice as well as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my top 2, I think.
That's amazing.
I know. Yeah. I know.
I would say, and I've been debating going back from a 10 or a 9.5.
What's the 0.5 that's not doing
I don't know. I like Halloween a lot and I love it, but like it's not one that I'm like, oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna go watch it.
That's fair. What is your movie that you're like, I'm gonna watch it, it makes me feel good? Besides Scream. It's interesting, like talking to someone a little bit younger than me and finding out what you're.
It's hard to say. I don't know. It depends. It depends on what mood I'm in.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like sometimes I'm in a slasher mood. Sometimes I'm in a paranormal mood.
Yeah.
I really like just shitty slashers.
Who doesn't?
Like there's one. It's like I don't know. I can't even tell you. It's on like Tubi now.
But it's a newer one.
Oh my God! Why can't I remember it? They're at an amusement park, and they get stalked. You know what I'm talking?
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. I just I don't know.
Well, there's also several in amusement parks now.
Yeah.
But I think I know.
But it's like
it's on Hulu and it's on Shudder.
Yeah, it's like a killer stalks them.
Yeah,
it's fun. That
was a good one. I've seen that one a few times.
Now I'm like forgetting every horror movie. You know when people ask you your favorite horror movie? No, The Faculty.
The Faculty.
The Faculty.
Oh my God, The Crow.
Crow.
You have a copy of Stab 3. Of course you do.
Yes,
That's
they
so
do.
Great.
That's my friend got me that. It's
That's
amazing.
So great.
Evil Dead. No, not Evil Dead.
I do love Evil Dead.
Not The Living Dead. Those just it depends. But besides Scream, it's hard to say besides Scream.
But you just know what your
like
one
Hereditary. Like I like Hereditary.
Yeah.
I like Talk to Me. I've seen like a bunch.
I have a joke about how Hereditary is the cilantro of horror. Like either you love it or you hate it. Either it tastes like soap or it's great. Yeah,
yep.
That's a movie that I have to rewatch because I hated it. Yeah. I did not like it.
Fair, that's fair. Yeah.
But in fairness to the movie, my mom had just passed away.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this is a drama and I don't like it, and stop crying. Like, I love Toni Collette, but it was just too heavy for me.
Yeah.
So I think if I gave it another shot, now that it's been a few years, I might be able to like it. Because I know people love that movie.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's fun. It's fun. It's, Fido.
Fido is fun. I like Fido.
Fido
Is definitely fun.
Now I'm like thinking about other horror movies that I like to watch that I'm like.
I also really loved Ed Wood as a kid. I don't know. I guess something of the black and white thing, but I loved Ed Wood a lot. I mean, Vampira, shout out. Elvira, shout out.
Yeah.
Morticia Adams, shout out.
Shout out.
Winifred Sanderson, shout out. You know what I mean? Like,
that
they really changed my life.
Yeah, they're good. They're fun.
Legit.
They're fun.
They're fun.
And you know what else? You know who else is really fun? You are.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, I feel like we could talk all day about this.
We could. Like, I'm not leaving.
You're not like, I'm like, we're like, John's already actually, he's gone.
He's been gone.
He's been gone. It's just us two here now. I'm actually controlling the podcast from here. Oh, he got us. He got us. Okay. Little last day humor for John.
Everyone's
little
a comedian.
Last day. I mean,
he's gonna do the show.
He's done the show.
Yeah.
He did Human Centipede. Yeah, that's. But thank you for being here. This is where
thank you for having me.
Of course, this is where you plug your stuff.
Yeah.
Plug it.
Yeah. Could we plug Horror Nerd, the Lady Killer edition on January 19th, featuring this lady?
Oh, it's gonna be great.
And headliner Dana Gould, creator of Stand Against Evil. That's gonna be a good show. And I don't want to. Fuck it. Can I say who you're gonna do it as?
Ahead.
She's gonna do it as Megan. That's so cool. I did my set last month as Annabelle, and I roasted Megan as Annabelle, and that was quite fun.
It's gonna be good.
We're just gonna be a bunch of weird dolls running around the Hollywood Improv.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
so weird. Are you doing Annabelle again?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you thought about maybe doing Carrie.
Yeah. And I was like, but again, it's like the classic, like you walk in and you're like, you're never going to believe the day I just had. Yeah. You're never going to.
Just covered in blood.
You're never going to believe what just happened what happened to me. She's like an airline comedian. You're never going to, I'm talking about this airline food. Like that's her. I feel like that was her vibe.
Also, emergency exits.
Emergency exits this way. But yeah, no, Horror Nerd, amazing show. It's the last Friday?
It's usually the third Friday of the month. So it'll be the January 19th and then February 16th. February 16th, theme undecided. Yes. I've done all the big ones, so I have to get real creative now. I could do some repeats, but you
want to try to you want to you got time.
Yeah, I know. But then my comics are like, wait, what is the theme?
You're like, don't worry about it. It's 5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes. You're fine.
You got
this.
This. Here's a list of shit to watch.
You're fine. You're good. You'll be fine.
Get Shudder. You'll be fine.
Yeah, Shudder. Shout out to Shudder. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. If you want a copy of Fangoria, use code KatieAfraidy25 to get 25% off. Hell yeah. And I like to give some shitty advice about the movie that, like from the movie.
Please
like
do.
Life advice. But again, I think there's only positive advice here. Never babysit kids.
Fair.
And if you have a goal, use Michael Myers as, he's a driving force. Get the goal. Get it done. Yeah. Although he still didn't get it done. He still can't freaking get it done even 40 years later.
I know, but bless him for trying. Well, he did get it done, and then they kind of undid it in the new movies. So we'll give him half credit.
Yeah, you kind of did it, but it's like, did you really?
Did you really?
But
you can't kill Jamie Lee.
You can't kill Jamie Lee. Don't go after Jamie Lee. If you're going to do it with somebody who can be killed. Anyways, on that note, guys, we'll see you next time, and stay spooky. Thank you to our sponsor, Filmcraft Studio Gear. You can find all their cool gear at filmcraftla.com or on Instagram at filmcraftla.